Hello grade 12s. So today I want us to look at drainage basin. So I'm going to be discussing drainage basin, the features of drainage basin, the fundamentals. Alright, so first of all we have to be able to define the term drainage basin. It's going to come out during your tests or exams. Look guys, so when you talk about a drainage basin is an area that is drained by the river and its tributaries. Right? So just have an imagination of an area whereby this particular area is being drained by the river and its tributaries. Okay? Yes. So that's what a drainage basin is. So when you think about the drainage basin, just think about an area. Okay? It's very easy and straightforward. Okay, so let's say this is the area that is being drained by the river. Let's say this is the area. Our circle is the area that is being drained by the river, which is the drainage basin. You know that a drainage basin, or within the drainage basin, we consist of a river and tributaries. So meaning that is an area that is drained by the river and its tributaries, or by the mainstream and its tributaries. Alright. Look, we have to draw inside the mainstream. Okay? So this is the mainstream moving this way. Okay? So this is our mainstream, okay? Moving this way. Mainstream moving this way. And tributaries. Our primary tributaries. Okay? Tributaries. Okay? And this are our tributaries. Okay. As you can see, we have the mainstream and the tributaries. Tributaries that supplies the mainstream with the water. Okay? Alright. Look, ladies and gentlemen. So I have to just tell you that these are tributaries, okay? So these are tributaries, okay? And this is the mainstream. And this is the main river or the mainstream. Main river or the mainstream. Alright, this is a drainage basin, ladies and gentlemen. This is a drainage basin, an area that is drained by the river and its tributaries. Alright, right now we have to, as I told you, that you are going to also be discussing the fundamental features of a drainage basin, okay, in geomorphology. Look now, you know that this must be the upper course at this level, okay? The middle course at this level and the lower course at this level. So mean that you know that when we're at the point whereby we're meeting our lower course downwards until the end, you know, at the end this will by the river enters the sea or the ocean, and that's going to be the mouth. Okay, yes. So at that particular point, it's going to be the mouth. Okay. So at this particular point, let's say this is our sea. Let me just use another example. Okay, so this is the sea. Let me just use another color blue for the sea. So this is the sea or the ocean. This is the sea or the ocean. So at this particular point right now, we have the mouth. So we have the mouth. We have the mouth at that particular point. Okay? Yeah. Alright, so you know that a river, it doesn't just appear. It starts somewhere or it begins somewhere. As you know that everything begins somewhere. So a river begins at the upper course specifically. That particular point whereby the river begins is called the source. So this particular point here, this point is called the source. This point where the river starts or begins. It's called the source. So that's the source. Okay? Alright. Right now, you know that as the river moves downwards, something that as the river flows downwards from the upper coast, then it goes to the lower coast. So you know that each and every point in each and every one of these courses, there are some points whereby the tributaries are joining the river. For instance, so this is our tributary joining the river at this particular point. This is our tributary joining the river at this particular point, and this is the tributary joining the river at this particular point. Alright, end. Look right now. So this particular point, this is so by the water bodies from the tributaries meets, okay, or they become in contact for the very first time with the water bodies in the mainstream. I repeat again. So at this point, this is by the water bodies from the tributaries are meeting the water bodies inside the mainstream. So we call this particular point a confluence. Alright, that's it. A confluence. Whereby the water bodies from there, or the point whereby the tributaries meets the mainstream. Alright. Look, right now. So you know that a river or a tributary. By the way, a tributary is also a river, but a small stream that is joining the mainstream. Look, right now, you know that for a river or for a stream to form, you know that it always forms on a very low altitude. Alright, so that this is a low altitude, for example, and this is a low altitude. So if this is the low altitude and this is the low altitude, in between there is a high-lying area. In between there is a high-lying area. So the stripes are showing that this area is a high-lying area that divides two streams in the same drainage basin. All right. So we call this place or this area an interfluve. Most of students confuse the interfluve with the watershed, but I'm just going to discuss that right now. An interfluve is a high-lying area that divides, okay? That divides or that separates two streams within the same drainage basin. All right, let's move forward. The watershed. Look, when you talk about the watershed also is a high-lying area that divides, right now, that divides two different drainage basins. Simple. That's the difference between the interfluve and the confluence. And the watershed. Look, so let's say we have a drainage basin 1 here. So we have a drainage basin 1. This is an example, guys. Drainage basin 1. Okay. So this is. Let me just write. Let me just write basin 1. Okay. Basin 1. This is drainage basin 1 with the river, its tributaries, moving downwards. Look, this is drainage basin 1 and this is basin 2. Basin 2. Drainage basin 2. Look, this is drainage basin 1, this is drainage basin 2. Between drainage basin 1 and drainage basin 2, clearly there will be a high-lying area that divides the two drainage basins. So let's say this is the high-lying area. So if this is the high-lying area, so we call this high-lying area that divides two different drainage basins, okay? Or two rivers from different drainage basins, or clearly two different drainage basins. So this high-lying area is going to be the watershed. That's the watershed, okay? That's the watershed, and that's how it goes. All right. Right now, I want us to look at the river system. Okay? The river system. The river system. Okay? The river system. When we talk about the river system, think about it. It's a system. So everything works in a systematic way. So in order for a drainage basin to work, there must be a systematic way. This is whereby, clearly, it's straightforward. Whereby the primary tributaries with secondary tributaries, or all tributaries, are meeting the river. So the river system is composed of the tributaries and the mainstream. So that's a river system. So a river system, when we talk about the river system, we talk about tributaries, and the mainstream. That's it, or in the main. Okay, yes. So the catchment area. All right. So the catchment area is an area that is caught by the drainage basin, whereby the rains falls at. That's a catchment area. So for instance, or for example, you'd hear that some people in South Africa, or some people in the northern parts of KZN, whatever the case may be, are experiencing some destructions in their houses, the infrastructure, etc., because of that they are situated, or that they decided to construct or to be situated in the catchment area. So that's going to also have a negative impact during the heavy rainfalls on late summers, like January, close to February. Okay? Yes. And that's how it goes. All right. So look right down. I want us to talk about the surface runoff. The surface runoff. All right. So look, when you talk about the surface runoff, you talk about the water that shits down there, the earth's surface, or that moves down the earth's surface after the precipitation. Look, when you talk about the surface runoff, this is it. Let me just use this one. The surface runoff. Let me just draw something like this. Alright. The surface runoff, this is the water that's going to run down. This is going to be the surface runoff. Alright? The surface runoff. The precipitation occurs the surface runoff into the rivers. Okay? The surface runoff into the rivers. So this is the surface runoff. So let's just use black. Surface runoff. Okay? This is the surface runoff. Okay. Right now, look. The surface runoff might, in most, or in some instances, or in some situations, it might not always land to the river. Okay? This is our river. Okay? This is our river. It might not always land into the river, the surface runoff. In other situations, the surface runoff might end up being trapped or in groundwater, or being stored as some sort of a groundwater. How does that occur? Meaning that there will be infiltration that is going to take place. So the infiltration takes place whereby there's more vegetation in the land, because there's much friction. Okay, yes, there's much friction against the surface runoff. And the other component is that if the rock or the underlying rock is porous or is permeable, so I mean that it allows water to sink down to the ground, so to be stored in some sort of a groundwater. Right? Yes. So meaning that if there is more vegetation, so I mean that there will be infiltration, which will store water as some sort of groundwater. Okay, yes. So we have the infiltration. I'm so sorry, guys. So we have the infiltration. This is by water sits down the earth's surface. Infiltration. Infiltration underneath, so means that the infiltration will end up being groundwater. So this is going to be ground. Hope you can't see there. I can see that you can see. So let's just say groundwater. Alright. As you can see that this is groundwater, so means that the rock, underlying rock here is porous, okay? So the infiltration will take place, but there's more type of vegetation, etc. So you can clearly see that the uppermost level of groundwater, so this of the porous rock, the uppermost level of this porous rock, we call this the water table. The water table. The water table. We call the uppermost layer the water table, and this is the groundwater, the water that is found underground. The surface runoff or river. Alright. There's something that I also wanted to tell you, to let you know, guys. What was it? But I just forgot about it. Alright. The other thing is that if the water table is above the riverbed, the river will become a permanent river, or a permanent river. Okay, yes. If the water table is below the riverbed, so the river is going to become a non-perennial river. Okay, yes. So a non-perennial river is an opposite of a permanent river, or of a perennial river. Okay, yes. So it will become a non-perennial river if the water table is situated below the riverbed. And that's it. And I think that's the end of our lesson video. Have a great day. Just don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.